Let's talk about deadlines for a minute. That's an interesting topic that I think I'm still I'm still learning about it. But I feel like there's sort of two opposing things that are both important in their intention, and it's a big part of making records. That if you are someone who reliably gets things done on time, especially as a mixer, mastering engineer, producer,
and
if you say,
end of the line, finish line people,
if you're someone who's really, really there to finish things, if you say, I'm going to get it to you in 5 days on Monday, and you do that consistently, you're way, way ahead of the pack. It's a small percentage of people that are reliable like that. But at the same time, if you make a deadline and you deliver something that is B+, nobody remembers that shit. So if you're late for a deadline and you can make something really spectacular, as good as it can possibly be, that's often much more important, because, when people look back in 5 years, they go, that song was a hit, that record was amazing, that changed the trajectory of this artist's career. Oh yeah, I guess it was like a couple weeks later than he had, like, nobody thinks about that shit.
Yes. And it always seems, I can only talk in real life experience, and I had a deadline. Yesterday was Monday? Yeah, yesterday. For an album I started mixing 3 years ago. So, like, how serious is the deadline when it's been being mixed and finished for 3 years? And so when someone hits you with that, my first response is, okay, I'm going to call the A&R, or I'm going to call the manager. I'm going to say, wait, what's the real? Well, let's actually check in. Let's have a real conversation. If it is today, I will hit every marker that you need. But I need to know, so I don't panic in the final inning of this game. Like, I need to finish this at the utmost highest level possible. I need to know how much bandwidth I need to, have for that day, or do I have an extra couple of days? And you're telling the artist this because they need to make decisions on a vocal comp. Like, there's a different reason for different deadlines. And I think the main reason I get hired most of the time, and I learned this from Tony, just being reliable. And I've never missed a deadline. I think the only deadline I've ever missed was, I think I told a brief story about mixing Nicki Minaj, got a call to mix One at midnight the day before she was going on BBC or Zane Lowe's Apple Music Radio 1. And I think I missed the third one by 20 minutes, but that was only after getting hired for One and her deciding to throw me 2 more at 3 a.m. just to see if we can make it. I think I got 2 on the album, and the third made the deluxe edition. But it's just like, we're going to hit the deadline. The best of us will do it. But is it going to be the best version of what that mix, song, production could be? And because of it, it's usually despite it and not because of it. Though I do thrive in high pressure a lot of the time. I really like it. And I have a lot of peers, that's an exciting. We talked about that with your One Direction, like having a shot at another song, and you had 24 hours to do a whole production, and like that's nerve-wracking and fun at the same time. Like, you might call in some homies to like jump on parts and like just get a group together. There's benefits to that, but really it's communication for me, and I just check in.
Yeah.
Like, does it have to be? Why now? Why are we panicking all of a sudden when we haven't been for this amount of time? And really find out.
And giving people options in the communication, saying, hey, if you really need this tomorrow, I can hustle and get it done. I think it'll be a little better if I have an extra day, or have an extra 2 days. What is this deadline? When do you actually need it by, so I can deliver what you need for your project? That level of communication is really important. With the One Direction thing that I mentioned a week or so ago, whenever that was. I don't know if I got into it, but I actually started it at like noon and then finished it by 8 a.m. the next day, because they were actually delivering the album for mastering. And if this got across the finish line, it was going to make the record. But I knew those details because I'd already worked on a song. I'd worked on the first single of that album.
Right.
So I had a good flow with the A&R guy, Tyler, and he said, this is when we're delivering to this, and it needs to go here. And I understood the actual schedule of it. So in that case, it's like, fuck it, I'm hauling ass and I'm going to get this done. I remember calling my mother at 8:30 in the morning, driving home from the studio. And her first response was, "You're up early?" And I was like, "Well, I'm actually up really late."
Yeah, exactly.
So just keep me awake for the 7-minute drive before I get to my apartment.